Warriors, got a couple of examples here for you of different things you can use for today. If you were in class, we'd be using Skittles or M&Ms. We chose those because they have two sides and they have a mark on one side. So like I can see that that one has an S. You could also use something like coins. Those obviously have a head side and a tail side. You could also use something like Legos. If you have something like Legos, you're going to need to make sure that you figure out which side will be your up side and which side will be your down side. I would suggest something like that. Be careful when you choose your objects. Like something like this may not have a clear side as to which side is up or down. And something like this, like what you would consider the upside, may actually be on a side where that Lego is not going to fall. So you'd want to be careful about choosing something like this as well. This one also doesn't have a clear side. So even if you choose an object, make sure it's got a clear one side versus another. If you're trying to figure out how many you have, like you don't have to have an exact number. This is 50 coins, and so 50 coins is a handful. 50 Legos, however, so this is 50 Legos. So that's like not quite a paper plate full. And this is 100 Legos. And notice how I didn't really care about what size they were. So you can use kind of whatever object you want. Okay, so I've got all my materials gathered. I've got my graph, I've got my paper cup, and I've got my objects that have two sides. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how many objects I have. And so I'm just going to start by counting out how many Skittles. Okay, so I just figured out that I have 90 M&Ms, or Skittles, so that number goes in that yellow box. So now what I'm going to do is put all those Skittles back into the cup. And what I'm going to do is radioactive decay. So radioactive decay, if you remember back to that marble game we played during the star stages where we built atoms and they radioactive decay. So if you imagine trying to hold on to a bundle of ping pong balls, it would be hard until you figured out how much pressure you needed and how many balls would fit your hands. And so in the meantime, while you figured that out, ping pong balls would be flying everywhere. And so that's kind of what radioactive decay is those atoms have to figure out what is that stable spot. So I'm going to use the S as my up position, and those are ones that have not decayed, and then the side without the S is going to be the side that is stable. So I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 10, and you pick a number, whatever number you want, and then I'm going to lay them out nice and flat, and if they landed S up, they're going to go back in the cup, and if they landed S down, they're going to get counted and sorted. Okay, so I had 51 that ended up with having flipped over, so that number right there goes in that first red box, and I just push enter, and you'll notice the graph starts to fill in. I'm going to move those Skittles off to the side, and I'm going to repeat that same process until I have no more Skittles left in the cup. So each time, if it lands S up, it goes back in the cup, and if it lands S down, or so that the bottom is up, it gets counted and sorted out. Okay, Warriors, so now I've got no Skittles left in my cup, and then what you need to send your instructor is this part of your screen. So you need the whole piece of your graph as well as your data table.